Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Griffin. I work with the Agriculture Wildlife Program with the Ministry of Agriculture and Foods. We're part of several of the business risk management programs that we hold. Agriculture Wildlife is one of those programs, of which we have different things like production insurance, livestock price insurance, predator compensation, and agri-stability. My apologies that I couldn't be there in person, but I had some meeting conflicts. But I've been requested to talk about the Agriculture Wildlife Program. So this exists as a compensation program for standing forage and grain crops damaged by ungulates, bears, or waterfowl. Elk are included in this designated wildlife. This program does require pre-registration for producers. For irrigated crops, the deadline is April 30th, and for annuals and single cut varieties, the deadline is June 15th. The Creston Valley is one of the areas in the scope of the program with the whole program focus. The program tries to support farmers with sun losses, allowing them to work on-farm solutions and to work with the province on sort of population management. So in terms of kind of program expectations that we hold for producers, we require them to notify the representative of any sort of new intentions on planting changes before the end of May. We'd require them to contact their Ministry of Agriculture and Food office, of which is outlined in their application, a minimum of 7 days prior to each harvest in order to schedule an inspection. And this inspection would have to be for like the entirety of first cut or the entirety of second cut, but just to require that minimum notification. At the end of the year, we do require that producers provide a declaration of production indicating what they yielded on a field by field basis. The other piece that we'd require from producers is that they have to be ready and prepared to show the adjusters where the wildlife damage has occurred, as it can oftentimes, sometimes it can be challenging for our adjusters to locate the specific spots. Now, I do have a photo here of one of our exclusion cages, and so they're not necessarily a requirement of the program. However, they are essential to assessing wildlife losses, as it's tough for us to go and make a determination of what the crop was capable of in the absence of wildlife without them. Now, in terms of the program, we do have several limitations on this. Compensation is restricted to those participants who engage on-farm mitigation or prevention activities in accordance with different best management practices. Nature conservancy lands or lands in which the primary focus is for use by wildlife are not eligible for AWP. And the Agriculture Wildlife Program provides compensation for lost tonnage to standing forage, grain, and silage crops due to those specific designated wildlife. Other losses associated with wildlife that are not eligible and are not strictly lost tonnage are not eligible for compensation. And compensation is only provided up to a maximum of 80%. Budgetary constraints may result in compensation levels or methodology being adjusted. So, for example, for the silage, for the 2025 crop year, the compensation rate for silage, grain, or forage crops was limited to 51% of the value of these losses. Now, if you do have any sort of questions or any sort of applications or any further understanding on any of those business risk management programs, our regional office for Creston Valley is the Cranbrook office, and they can be reached at any of these the phone numbers below or the email. And then our representative, Leanne, can help search out. And thank you for listening to my presentation, and apologies again that I could not be there in person.